Hi, my name is Darren Fox. I am from County Roscommon in the west of Ireland. Grew up on a farm, predominantly cattle, but always had horses as a hobby. My dad purchased our first thoroughbred broodmare when I was 12, and then we started breeding foals and selling them at auction. That's kind of how we got the bug. Pursued that in college, studied equine science. Spent summers working on stud farms in Ireland, prepping yearlings and finishing off the breeding seasons, namely Ballyhane stud in Carlow and Rathbarry stud in Cork, where Barathea stood. In third year of my degree, spent 9 months here in Kentucky back in 2000, working for Jim Fitzgerald in Paris, Knockgriffin Farm. Did a full season there. Both broodmares and prepping yearlings for September sale. Fell in love with Kentucky, so much so that I told my mum I had a full-time job here and was not finishing college. So such was the effect that Kentucky had on me. But needless to say, I went home and finished college, which was obviously the right move. Following that, I did a master's in entrepreneurship. Really liked the business aspect and wanted to explore that further. My first job out of college was as a team leader for GE Capital. After that year, realized I was right the first time with my career path, so I wanted to get back into horses and the thoroughbred industry. Went to work for Toad Ireland, spent 3 years there in there as a call center supervisor, and then the final 6 months working in their marketing department. Following on from that, was lucky enough to get accepted on the Darley Flying Start. That was a phenomenal 2 years. Again, immersed in the thoroughbreds, 5 countries, Ireland, England, 7 months again here in the States. That was in 2008. Australia, Dubai. Loved it, really killed about 4 birds with 1 stone for me. Got me back into bloodstock, back into the area that I wanted to, build and develop my career. So that really was a segue into returning back to Kentucky, which was in 2009. First job here was in nomination sales at John Bell for Darley. Spent 4 years working there, which was great experience. Got to meet and develop relationships with a lot of the major breeders and clients here in Kentucky and the broader US. After 4 years there, moved to Winstar Farm, was 2 years there as Stallion Seasons Director, and then from there came back to Darley about a year and 3 months ago to assume the role as sales manager there. So that really sums up my experience and how I arrive here today. I think the KTA is hugely important. They're the watchdog for the industry. They're really looking out on, assessing the horizon for any potential issues, be they political, market-driven, international, that will affect everyone here in Kentucky and affect the primary thoroughbred industry. So again, it's an important role that needs to be filled, and it's one that has so many broader knock-on effects to other industries that it's Kentucky's primary industry. So again, it is a hugely important role to safeguard the future and maintains Kentucky's position within the US and within the world as the #1 producer of thoroughbreds. The 2 years traveling on the Flying Start definitely gave me, a global perspective, some ideas, observing racing in different jurisdictions. Obviously, coming from Ireland, spent time in England. Australia struck me as a racing industry and a breeding industry that definitely have a lot of things going for them and do a lot of things right. I know their racing industry and their passion and the mainstream nature of their sport is the envy of the world. So just that broad perspective, and definitely through my 2 years doing entrepreneurship, new product development, generating new ideas, putting myself in the position of a buyer or someone from another country is something that I feel is a strength, and definitely thinking up of solutions to problems or coming at things from a different perspective is definitely something that I spend a lot of time doing. So I feel like that could be a strength to try and overcome any potential issues that we may be facing. This is definitely a challenging time within the industry. There are a lot of issues at play that we all need to face head on and be realistic. So even though there are challenges, I relish those challenges and look forward to contributing where I can, and hopefully placing Kentucky and Kentucky Thoroughbreds in the best position to compete internationally and on the world stage.